Great New Zealand icon Sir Edmund Hillary once said, "It is not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves." These words are relevant to himself, conquering the tallest mountain, words relevant to the great Anzacs, and words now relevant to all New Zealanders today. This sentiment could not be more true than on the morning of the 25th of April, 1915. Over 100 years ago, in the early lights of dawn, thousands of brave men stood and wait, confronted by the same reality. Gallipoli is a coastline of great significance to our country now, but then, to these young soldiers, what waited for them past the harsh oceans, past the beaches, past the hills and mountains, was entirely unknown. This was war. Death was to be expected. Enemies were around every corner, and home was far. Undoubtedly, these thoughts crossed the minds of these men. The fear of not being guaranteed the boat ride home, the fear of being thrown into the darkest chasm of unknowns and fear. However, thankfully for us, these brave Anzacs had the heart to overcome these thoughts. They were able to push aside what must have been paralysing notions, able to conquer themselves and push on to conquering the grand mountain in front of them. Their conviction and commitment to their service, their country, and their people is something that can never be forgotten. Something that the people of our country will be eternally grateful for, and something that our people will continue to commemorate for as long as we live, to honour these brave men. As in an ultimate act of valour, the Anzacs sacrificed their lives and their futures for the security of the future of our country and the generations to come. Kia ora, maluelele, and good morning. A welcome to you all, and thank you for being present for the Rotorua Boys High Anzac Assembly this morning. My name is Jared Hetonga Lasike, and I'm honoured and humbled to give an address to you all in honour of this sacred day. As I am the Year 13 cohort, I approach a similar age to a majority of the Anzacs. Only within the past few years has the sheer nobility of these men begun to sink in. Confidently, I can state that if I were put into the shoes of these men, there is no way I would be as brave and as unhesitant. It speaks volumes to the magnitude of the spirit of these men, the absence of any kind of selfish thought, the knowing possibility of self-sacrifice, and the keenness to sign to protect these precious lands. Unknowingly, they have become the benchmark for valour and service that the country now strives to live up to. Although they carried out their duties altruistically, we now have a responsibility to repay their efforts in continuing their legacy for as long as we shall live. Harold McConey and Stephen Adlam, two brave men who I am honoured to be able to call my great-grandfathers, served as Anzacs in both world wars. Thankfully, my great-grandfather Steve was one of the lucky ones, making it out of the war. However, the scars were long-lasting. My grandfather told me of his time with his dad once he returned. He told me how he was as eager as ever to hear about Steve's time in the trenches, but Steve wouldn't say much. I'm extremely proud to have Steve as my great-grandfather, and humbled to be able to say I'm the descendant of such an honourable man. Yet I believe there is more to learn from my great-grandfather and his comrades than only displaying bravery. The comradeship on the battlefield brought this country's people together like never before. Everyone was united in supporting the boys overseas, yet the divisions formerly reserved for the battlefield have gradually crept their way into our daily lives, seemingly dividing our people more and more each day. In recent memory, I struggle to remember a time when our country truly came together. Divisiveness seems to be the new aim of the game. Race, political beliefs and religion are all motivators for the separating of our people. People are more concerned with being correct and proving a point as opposed to being constructive. This is where we can learn more from these great ancestors of ours. Despite being deployed from all corners of our country, they were not divided. They stood as brothers to fight for us. They could see the purpose greater than themselves and put aside any petty and arbitrary differences. It makes me wonder what we could do if we were to do the same. Not only have the Anzacs taught us how to display bravery, but also how to truly join as one in service of a greater cause, not allowing personal beliefs to tarnish the great history and the bright future of our country. It's as Sir Edmund Hillary said, if we can overcome ourselves, then we can climb even the loftiest mountain. We will remember them. Thank you.